can you give us any logical reasons why we should cover the head and grow the beard?
As far as covering the head is concerned, growing the beard, as I said, growing the beard is a commandment of the Prophet, so we have to do it. Covering the head is sunnah of the Prophet, you do it. That's the main reason. But if people want logical reason why they should do it, there is a saying that if the label shows your intent, wear it. And I've given a talk on this complete topic with the question answer more than 3 hours, which I don't intend doing now. I'll just say in a nutshell. The saying that if the label shows your intent, wear it. Like if you go to a conference, you know, everyone wears the label, they wear the name, Dr. So-and-so, Dr. It's an informal introduction. If you go to a conference with a specialist of doctors, then it may say you're a cardiologist or a neurologist or a nephrologist, you know, so it gives an informal introduction. So similarly, wearing a cap or covering the head and sporting a beard is an informal introduction that you're a Muslim. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Anam, chapter number 6, verse number 54, وَإِذَا جَاءَكَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِآيَاتِنَا فَقُلْ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. That when you meet those people who believe in our signs, then say, Assalamu alaikum, peace be on you. So how will I recognize when I walk in the streets, especially in India and other countries, when I go to the Western countries, that he's a Muslim? So this is a good sign of being a Muslim. You know, we don't require another label. The label which the Prophet has given us the best, that covering your head and sporting a beard. And it does wonders. I'll give you an example that once in Bombay, there was a young lad who was selling fruits. His name was Sultan. An elderly Muslim who was a very pious Muslim, used to offer 5 times salah, used to give zakat, used to fast in the month of Ramadan, had gone for Hajj. He comes to buy fruit from this hawker. And he tells to this young boy, Sultan, why didn't you wish me salams? So he said, Uncle, I thought you were a Hindu. Imagine a Muslim calling this elderly man a mushrik. It's the biggest abuse you can give to this person. This person was a very pious person, but didn't have a beard, didn't cover his head. Who's to blame? Is the elderly gentleman to blame or the young lad for calling him a mushrik? Who's to blame? But naturally, the elderly gentleman, he could not recognize him. Therefore, if the label shows your intent, you should wear it. And you can give several such examples. For example, it has various benefits. If you're traveling in a bus or traveling in a train, and if there is a Muslim sister who's doing hijab, there are times in a non-Muslim country where somebody may tease her. But if there are 10 Muslims who don't know each other, each of them wearing a cap, a kufi, or sporting a beard, and they are sitting in the bus, the non-Muslim will think 10 times before teasing the Muslim girl. Oh, if I tease Muslim girl, these 10 Muslims will pounce on me. Even those 10 Muslims may be very feeble, may be old, but yet he gets scared. That's the reason it is good that he should wear the label, because it shows your intent. For example, if there's a doctor, he's proud to put the name doctor before his name because he's proud to be a doctor. In his car, there is a sign of a cross, a red cross indicating that he's a doctor. In emergency, if you have any problem on the street, you stop the car. Similarly, if any human being has a problem and wants help, and if he sees a Muslim who has a label, a cap and a beard, he will ask him for help. He'll guide him to the truth. And I remember my grandparents telling that in Bombay, when any people wanted to hire a cab, even the non-Muslims, they preferred hiring a cab whose taxi driver was sporting a beard and keeping a cap, because they knew he would be honest. They preferred going to a shop whose shopkeeper was sporting a beard and wearing a cap. Unfortunately, nowadays, the whole label has changed. We find Muslims wearing cap just to boss around, you know. And unfortunately, the media, they portray anyone who has a beard and wears a cap, he's a terrorist. And I've given this reply in my talk. So keeping a beard and wearing a cap or covering the head is a very recommended sunnah, and keeping a beard is fard. So Muslims should stick to it and should be proud to identify themselves as Muslims.